Alright, we are here for round one. Our hand's kind of a weirdo, but I think it's good. Unfortunately, we can't play a temple on turn one because we want to start playing out the Seeker of the Ways. And hopefully our Absent advantage is good, but even if it's not, the bolster might blow him out. So, we're gonna not snap keep. We're gonna keep it though. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Been playing a lot of whip decks lately, so I'm pretty used to having these graveyards open because it's pretty important. Less so here, but, you know, still gonna do it. I got some digs. Might want to know how many cards I have. And his Temple of Epiphany, so you might be wanting to do the same. But we drew Battlefield Forge. Now we can Temple on turn one, but I don't really want to be taking a bunch of damage. So I'm still gonna play the Monastery. And then, presumably going to go Island Seeker, and then we'll see if he kills it or what happens. But, oh man, it looks like we're playing a Jeskai Mirrors. So, a week ago, this deck was not very popular. Now here we are, just playing a bunch of mirror matches. So, he might have a Seeker of his own, and he does. And we have the Rabblor. So, these matchups are always really interesting because, like, the first 3 turns are always so crucial between, like, you know, if he just played like a second land and passed, I might not want to play Seeker because I don't want him to kill it, untap, and play Rabblemaster. I might want to represent actually having a removal spell of my own. And it's certainly a little bit awkward that I don't have any of my like Wild Slashes or Lightning Strikes or whatever because I can't make those kind of cool plays. But like, we might see in the post-board games where those types of exchanges matter a ton. But he is a little on the slow end and doesn't have the Rabblemaster, so he's going to strike my thing, presumably going to attack me, which will allow me to play Rabblemaster and get a token. So I'm not even sure I like his play here, because my Seeker doesn't do a whole lot against his Seeker, especially if he keeps Lightning Strike open. And now I just get to Rabble and make a token for free. And now this is what I was kind of talking about in the deck tech, where like he's on the defensive now. Like, yeah, he has Seeker and he's gained some life, but like I'm working at developing a bigger board presence. So he might have been interested in playing a threat this turn, but now he basically can't because he has to deal with this Rabblemaster. So I have a little bit of a tempo advantage, a little bit of initiative, and I'm going to try and make this Absent advantage work. I'm going to try and get him. Otherwise, you know, most of these Jeskai decks just have like a single Outpost Siege, if that, in the main deck to destroy with my advantage. So I'm going to have to try and get some use out of this bolster. Oh, and he does have the Siege. Oh my god. This could be delightful. This could be delightful. So I don't think he can attack here, even though he gains 3 life. I think he wants to keep my Goblin making to a minimum, plus make me keep my Rabblemaster on D. So this could be hilarious. For me, not for him. If I was him, I would be very sad. Oh, he is going to attack. That's bananas. I mean, obviously he could just be like, well, you know, he's just gonna kill my thing and attack me, so I might as well get in my lifelink hit when I can. And that makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, you know, I could just not have it. And then he would rather just try and contain my goblins here. So yeah, we're gonna make him sack. We're not gonna get too much advantage out of this Absent advantage off the bolster, you know. Like, I would much rather just use it to trade up my Goblin for a Seeker, but still pretty great. And we drew another ETB tap land, so we can't play out our Seeker, which is kind of a shame, but not really. I'm not too upset about it. And do I want the Triumph? Do I want the other white mana? Maybe. Or do I want the other red? I mean, they're both red, I guess. So do I want a third blue or a second white? I guess a second white. Stoke the Flames. That's a reasonable card. Deals with most of his threats, so I think we're good to go there. And if I cared, I could Stoke the Seeker, but I don't really care, I don't think. I would rather save it for something bigger or try and get him when he's trying to block. Or try and kill like a Mantis Rider or something. So like if he goes Mantis Rider into Storm Breath, I'm going to want both my Stokes to kill his Flyers, and I'll just ignore his Seeker. It's whatever. Okay, but he's just going to be on the Race My Rabble Master plan, which, yeah, that doesn't seem great. Okay. I'm at 9, so I guess he's doing a little something. And then I can play out this Seeker here. Well, I mean, first things first, we know we're going to play this Epiphany. So let's play this. Get a little information. Information is that our top card is random. So, not all that helpful. Do I play Seeker here? What happens if I just cast Stoke? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I deal him 9 damage. So I lose out on 2 points by playing the Seeker, but I just make it up next turn, and with lifelink also. So I think this is better. So we'll kill that Rider, get some irrelevant triggers going on. We're swarming out of control here. But he does have me at a kind of low life total. Only has 2 cards, so I don't think he can kill me. And then he should, at least if he's not dead on this next turn, he's going to be taking a ton of damage, and we're going to be trading off in combat and whatnot. So as long as I don't die this turn somehow to his 2 cards, we should be good to go. So if he has a Lightning Strike, I guess I'm dead. Huh. Could we have played that a little bit more conservatively? It would involve keeping Rabblemaster back on D, which I was not really interested in. So I think this is a good topic for a future article. This is something I've been thinking about a lot with regards to, you know, me specifically and how I like to play Magic. But there are situations like this where you can play around stuff, but it's probably not that beneficial. And it might seem wise to try and play around everything and just, like, always have it locked up on every stage of the game, right? Like, okay, so I could lose the Lightning Strike, so I'm going to keep my Rabblemaster back. Or I could lose the Stoke, so I'm going to, you know, not attack that turn or whatever. And it just goes on and on. But, like, you can't just, like, play around everything and have them dominated on every street, basically. So there are spots like this where, yes, I could die to Rabblemaster plus Lightning Strike. But I don't know. I gotta think about it more and actually flesh this out. But like, you might have to just play games that are like kind of close, and you just have to live with that. And that's part of the fun about Magic, is like that these games actually, you know, have meaningful, impactful, emotional moments like that. Like he you know, you just played his Mantis Rider, and I was like, oh crap, I could die to this. But like, you know, going back and thinking about it, it's like I wouldn't have played any differently. So I knew that, you know, there was a potential for me to maybe die that turn, but I'm putting myself in a position where I will almost certainly win on the following turn should nothing bad go wrong. So I'm going to Stoke this thing and then hopefully attack him for 1 million. And even if, you know, he has a slash, if he had a slash, he would have just killed this and like gain some life and whatever. So I'm pretty sure he just has nothing. I guess he could have like a Disdainful Stroke or something. That'd be interesting. But either way, I get the lifelink, which is really what I want. So yeah, could have died to a Lightning Strike, but didn't. And that was a cool moment. I really enjoyed that. That was fun. So Brimaz, you're definitely in. I like Negate in this matchup better than Stroke. However, I did lose to a Keranos when I had a Negate in my hand. And then for game 3, I swapped out the negates for strokes. So I don't know what's actually better here. I like these angers, I think. I'm going to bring those in. Take out the Rablors. Stance is pretty much garbage. Absent advantage, despite being kind of great that game, is not something I really want here. So I could see taking, or like not bringing in all these sieges because the matchup can be kind of fast. But obviously, if his siege was live that game, then it would have been a lot closer. I think he would have been able to put more pressure on me probably. So siege is probably pretty good. And I think I do want the 2 strokes. Like countering Dig or countering their 5 and even countering Stoke the Flame sometimes is pretty good. So I like having some sort of counter spell. It's also kind of nice to like play out a thing and protect it. But that's generally what I want negate for. It's just I don't know. It might be just irrational to be like, oh, I don't want to lose to Keranos, but yeah, these should probably be negates. But then I can't counter Storm Breath. So I guess that's reasonable too. We'll do strokes for now. We'll play it by ear. But yeah, I like having 2-mana counterspell just because it's one of those things that allows you to make a really favorable trade mana-wise. And other than that, what do I want here? Like maybe 3 angers is too many? Maybe I should go down to 2? Because basically, like, strike or slash is better than anger, and I think that's, like, the only card I can cut. So maybe I should cut an anger. And I need Stoke to kill Storm Breath. Sarkhan also kills Storm Breath and is just a good threat. Same deal with Wingmate Rock. But maybe without these angers, I don't have enough early stuff. So maybe I should just have the other anger. And cut some high end, because I do have a lot of high end. We'll try with only 1 siege. On the play, I'll want the other siege, but I don't want to fall too far behind and just have a bunch of expensive cards. So Wingmate Rock, Dig Through Time, 5 land. Not very good. We do have 2 Scry lands, but I don't like relying on these Scry lands to actually get us in the game. So we're going to mulligan. And this hand is pretty reasonable. You know? You don't have to mulligan. You get to mulligan. And that is the option that we took. We elected to mulligan because it is an option that is afforded to us by whoever decided that was a rule. And it's a fantastic rule. Because sometimes your 7 cards aren't bad, but you can get 6 good ones. So he looks like he doesn't have any white mana, which kind of stinks for him. And now we're in kind of the same spot he was last game, where if I play a Seeker, he could kill it, untap, play Rabblemaster. But with Anger and Slash, I don't really care about that. Plus, I'm land light, so I don't think holding back is really going to do a lot for me. I'd rather just play out my spell, even if it just dies. Because I wanna actually play my spells before the game ends. So he's not mana screwed, and he doesn't have a Manus Rider, so I don't actually know what's going on. And we don't have a land, so we have no castable spells. We just ship it back. And these are the games where I think that a 25th land would be very beneficial, especially the post-board games, because they're a lot grindier. And you just want to make your land drops. You know, it's not so much about who draws the most spells, but like who gets to resolve their impactful spells. And I'm going up to more 5s and could potentially play another siege also. So could be an extra 4 there. And he's just going upstairs. So to me, that signifies that he has a Dig Through Time. Although, yeah, he did fetch a Plains. So either he is playing closer to Martin's list and has cruises. Oh, is he going to cast a cruise this turn? That'd be bad. Yeah, I was going to say either he has cruises and doesn't care about double blue, or he has another double blue land. Oh, he has a thing, a siege. Well, that's really good when I'm mana screwed. I think my first hand would have been pretty good against this draw, actually. I don't want another rock. 4 birds is better than 2, but we're never going to get there. Gets Abzan advantaged. Still keeps in the thing. I got to respect that. This guy does not care, you know? He's just like, yeah, you have this thing main deck. Obviously, you care about killing enchantments, but this enchantment is so good I'm going to play it anyway. And I can respect that. That's smart. So we're just going to slash this now rather than anger his thing. I think with him having siege, we got to put some pressure on him. And that's what I'm going to try and do. So play out this Mantis Rider, get in a shot for 3. We have 2 Stokes as additional things to go upstairs. And then if he kills this and plays a thing, then we can just anger. But I don't mind playing this when I have an anger in my hand. So he sieges into a Wild Slash, which doesn't do too much because of my 3 toughness thing. But if he had another Slash, it would be pretty good. But he just has a strike. So this Slash might be going upstairs. Or he's going to keep open like some Counterspell mana or something. But I don't think there's anything I could play next turn that he would want to counter. So yeah, just Slash me. And we are Stoke the Flames Rich. Unfortunately, that doesn't do anything. I'm kind of tempted to just play the anger so that I can dig through time, but that also seems kind of silly. Excuse me. I'm seriously considering it, though. 1 RR, put a card in my graveyard. I don't even have double blue, though. I just feel like I'm under this huge amount of pressure because of his siege. And he hits a land off it, so now he's going to be able to develop a little bit more nicely. And it's a 2nd white also, which is probably pretty nice. I don't think most people are playing Wingmate Rock at this point, but Sideboard Brimaz is fairly common. I know that part of Dave Shields' plan against everyone was on 5 mana to play a 3 with Stance open. And that's a hell of a plan. You know, it's a very good plan. But probably side out Stance in this matchup. And we drew the blue. So we could have dug through time this turn had we angered last turn. But I'm over it. I think it's okay. We're going to start stoking him, I think. He's probably going to start stoking me as well. And I think he wins this race because of his siege. Upstairs. A Flooded Strand. Man, I wish I had this thing giving me lands every turn. That'd be great. Maybe I shouldn't have not boarded in the second one. It's interesting to see that he kept in Rabblemaster. I don't think that is a bad plan. But I think most people do side them out, especially against decks with a ton of shocks. So, 11 all. Both have 5 cards. And there's a Strand. So, we're going to get our 3rd blue. I'm going to play out this puny 3/4 in the hopes that it will gain me 1 life per turn. Yeah, because I could, like, stoke him down to 6, and then untap and dig, but I can't, like, stoke and burn him, so I do think I'm on the rock plan. And then if he has to stoke this, that's cool with me. That gives me more time. So anger proving to be a giant turd, at least in this game. I think it was just a matter of how my draw panned out versus his draw, but maybe not the greatest card. Certainly not good against Mantis Rider and Rabblemaster when they already get value out of their cards before you kill them in sorcery speed, but and he's going upstairs. That's not good for me. If he had burn, I want him to throw it at my rock. But now I'm at 3 life, and he has a million cards, and I can't imagine living through this turn. Even if he just, like, cruises or digs, I should be dead, but maybe he can just put me out of my misery here. Beautiful. Thank you. Look at all that burn. Alright. Now we're back on the play. These angers stink. I'm convinced. I am convinced. I'll play some Rabblors. Still want the strokes. Maybe I should bring in 1 advantage. I don't know. I'll just lose to that card. It's Siege. It's too good. Who made these cards anyway? What the hell? Yeah, alright. Alright. One advantage, one Rabble Master. That's clearly the optimal number. I just hope we don't embarrass ourselves. But that happens. Not a whole lot you can do, you know? Alright, on the play this time. We have the advantage. I hope it's good. 2 lands, not the best, but we do have a tri-land, which is always beautiful. And our curve is fairly low, so it's not like we're keeping a 2-lander with a bunch of 5s. The advantage is the wild card, where could do something, could do nothing. But if in the case that it does nothing, at least it bolsters. And I think we're just going to fetch an island. Obviously depends on what we draw a little bit, but island seems like a safe bet. And if we draw another untapped land, we should be in business because of all our awesome 3s. But maybe we'll just get stuck on 2 mana again. Kind of why I hate these decks. Just want a divination. I want a Courser, Satyr Wayfinder. That's all I really want to be doing. Land! Kind of a land. Alright, Lightning Strike my Seeker of the Way and see what happens, buddy. Yeah, that's what I thought. Coward. Brimaz? I can't cast you. Get out of here. Stupid cat. Alright, alright. He's doing work, trying to keep his mana open and whatnot. Alright, now what's the plan? Clearly we play something. Because sitting is not getting us anywhere, so we just kind of have to walk into his removal. So what do we mind dying versus not dying? I think Rabble Master has the most potential upside. So we might go Rider, Rabble Master, Rider, or Rider, Rider, Rabble Master. I don't know. It depends like what he has in play at the time. But I would definitely like to acquire a token. More than deal him 3 damage, I think. Maybe 3 is more relevant. Hard to say. Hard to say. We'll go for the Rider. There's always the possibility that he just has a shock and not a strike also. Oh my god, he just took 5 damage. Does he have an Anger of the Gods? That'd be fine. Because we got in our shot for 5. Maybe he has the Outpost Siege. In which case he is going to regret his decision. Oh my god, what is happening? Stoke the Flames. Deal. Alright, now what do we want? Do we want a Goblin? Yeah, let's get a Goblin, I think. Less damage, but more pressure and a little bit of card advantage in case our Rabble Master ends up dying, but you know he doesn't have a sweeper, so our Goblin lives. As always, more lands would be nice, but I'm not exactly upset with my spot here, especially if his first play is to Stoke the Flames. It's like so backbreaking to just get shocked or lightning striked. But sometimes you don't draw them and you keep like a pretty reasonable hand, but you just can only stoke their thing and that's it. That's all you got. So I like my spot. Relatively high life total. He's got to be pointing burn at my creatures, and then even if he does manage to stabilize, I have Siege and Dig Through Time to go long, plus an Abzan advantage to kill his Siege if he ever manages to stick one before he dies. So he like doesn't even have a bunch of stuff in his graveyard, so I'm not too worried about a Delve card drawer. Another Stoke the Flames. Yeah, that's fine. Wingmate Rock. Okay, you're kind of useless. Now we just throw creatures at him until he dies. So this is the spot I was talking about where you get ahead And every turn, you play a creature and hit them, and then they kill it. And then you play a creature and hit them, and then they kill it. They just fall too far behind. So Shock is great at making sure that you are not on my opponent's end of this exchange, but, you know, sometimes it can't be helped. Mantis Rider, too good. Alright, what do we got here? Is this the Storm Breath? Elspeth? Ugh. Ugh. I had Elspeths in my sideboard and quickly cut them because they were not very good. So that is going to be the game, and our opponent kept a really slow hand. And I liked saving the Mantis Rider for last. That was pretty nice. I like doing things in the order that I did them. I don't know if it was, you know, because it was good or just because that's the way that things ended up or whatever, but either way it worked out. Everything is awesome and whatnot. So that is going to be round 1 in the mirror match. And apparently Jeskai is a thing now. So Martin Juza, nice work on that 22nd Grand Prix top 8. And hopefully we can start beating the crap out of these white-red decks.